Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. St. James man killed while visiting girlfriend in neighboring community. Police are trying to determine the reason behind the killing of a man who reportedly went to visit his girlfriend in Coral Garden, St. James on Monday. The deceased has been identified as 40-year-old Ricardo Spence, otherwise called Ricky Rich, or Canadian, is from Churchill in the neighboring community of Flanker in the parish. It was reported that around 9 a.m., Spence was in the area visiting his girlfriend when explosions were heard. The police said Spence was subsequently found lying face down in a pool of blood with multiple gunshot wounds. He was taken to the Conroe Regional Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Police said no motive has yet been established as they have come up empty-handed with their initial investigations. Car wash operator shot dead in St. Elizabeth. A car wash operator was found shot to death in Jointwood District, St. Elizabeth on Monday morning. He has been identified as 33-year-old Jerome Wallace, otherwise called African, a resident of the community. It was reported that Wallace was last seen alive around 10:30 p.m. Sunday, leaving a party in an adjoining community. Shortly after he departed, loud explosions were heard. Police said around 5:30 on Monday morning, Wallace was seen on the roadway with what appeared to be gunshot wounds to the upper body. The authorities were summoned and, upon arrival, found the now deceased lying face down with what appeared to be gunshot wounds. The scene was processed and the body was pronounced dead at hospital. No motive has been established for the killing, the police stated. Man stabbed to death in Portland Bookstore. Cops detained suspect. A man was stabbed to death at a bookstore in Morgan Plaza on Harbour Street in Port Antonio, Portland on Monday afternoon. The dead man has only been identified as Robert Grant. A suspect has been detained in connection with the killing, the police stated. Information reaching reporters is that Grant was standing in a bookstore in the plaza around 4 p.m. when he was attacked by a man armed with a knife. Police said the knife was used to inflict several wounds to Grant's upper body. The suspect was held while Grant was rushed to the Port Antonio Hospital where he was pronounced dead. The body was later transferred to the morgue pending a post-mortem examination. Police did not give a motive for the killing. JCF mourns death of training constable. The High Command of the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF says it is deeply saddened at the death of a training constable, Randre Pike. Pike joined a Tranquility Bay training facility in Treasure Beach, St. Elizabeth on Monday morning. According to the JCF, Pike, a 19-year-old recruit from Linstead, St. Catherine, was a dedicated young man committed to serving his country, and that his death is a loss felt deeply within our ranks. The JCF disclosed that according to preliminary reports, Pike had just completed his morning physical training PT and decided to accompany his fellow recruits to a section of the beach to alleviate muscle fatigue. While Pike reportedly attempted to assist a colleague who got into difficulty in the water, the JCF said Pike also encountered difficulties and was overcome by a strong overturn. 12-year-old boy dies in suspected river drowning in Westmoreland. A 12-year-old boy is suspected to have drowned in the Caribbean River in Frome, Westmoreland on Sunday. He has been identified as Stephen Rankin. Reports from the police are that Rankin left home shortly after 9 a.m. without his mother's authorization and went to the river with a friend. It is reported that he went missing while swimming. Checks were made to locate him, but he was not found. His body was later discovered in the river motionless by residents about 2:48 p.m. The police were alerted, and he was transported to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Investigations are ongoing. Lester Sterling to be laid to rest on Tuesday. A Thanksgiving service for the late hornsman Lester Sterling will be held at the Holy Cross Church in Halfway Through St. Andrew on Tuesday. A founding member of the famous Jamaican ska band, the Scatterlight Sterling, who had not been in good health prior to his death, died in Florida in the United States on May 16 at the age of 87. He had urged family and friends to ensure that his body is flown back to Kingston to be buried. His request was passed on to Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport Olivia Babs-Grange, who prior to his death has pledged to fulfill his wish. Grange said she admired Sterling's love for his homeland and agreed to take on the challenge. In fact, by the time I heard that he had died, I had already put some things in place. His remains are already in Jamaica, and we'll have him interred here after the service, she said. The Thanksgiving service will be prefaced by the viewing set to begin at 9:30 a.m. Musical tribute will follow at 10 a.m., while the church service is expected to get underway at 10:30 a.m. Interment will follow at Dovecot Cemetery in St. Catherine. New St. Elizabeth Police Chief Minto hits ground running. His duties are many and diverse, but new Chief of Police in St. Elizabeth Deputy Superintendent Coleridge Minto has named the recapturing of 8 men who escaped the Black River lockup last month as very high on his list of priorities. I'm appealing to these persons to turn themselves in. They should do so with their attorneys, Minto told the monthly meeting of the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation on Thursday. The 8 high-risk detainees, including Anwar Hines, otherwise called Kirky, who is charged with the 2015 murder of 4 farmers in remote Claremont, North St. Elizabeth, were found missing from their cell on the morning of June 19. Reports are that they escaped by cutting their way through metal bars at the window of their cell. Hines apart, the escapees uncharged include murder, robbery with aggravation, and shooting with intent, or Oral BC Code 31 from Comfortall, Manchester, Richard Bond 34 from Middle Quarter, St. Elizabeth, Alric Hutchins 38 from Brigton District, St. Elizabeth, Dean Simpson 34 from Turner Top, Manchester, Javon Sims 25 from Copperwood, St. James, Kenneth Stewart 30 from Beacon Hill, St. Catherine, and Demar Williams 29 from Grover Heights in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. Minto told councillors and others at the Municipal Corporation meeting that 3 others on the wanted list in St. Elizabeth were also being asked to surrender to the police. He named them as Dean Robinson, a 47-year-old farmer of Horton District who is wanted for murder, Seymour Max Mullin, farmer of Jointwood District, Makati, wanted for murder, and Dwayne Palmer of Pullitch Drive, who is wanted for rape and other offences. The jailbreak in Black River triggered the arrival of Minto as commander of the St. Elizabeth Police Division, replacing Superintendent Kenneth Chin, who had been in the job for just under a year after being transferred from the Portland Police Division. Members of Chin's administrations were also transferred. A news release from the High Command of the Jamaica Constabulary Force last month said the changes will facilitate a thorough and unpending investigation into the circumstances leading to the escape of the inmates. The release said 2 JCF members were interdicted pending further inquiries. At Thursday's meeting in Black River, Minto appealed to St. Elizabeth residents who would have seen the people not known to them, or if they know any of these persons, to share the information with police emergency contact numbers or the nearest police station. He also made public his cellular number so that citizens can call me directly. Minto cautioned that while citizens are allowed to support the police in police custody, they must do so without doing anything to breach the laws. He revealed that in early July 2 persons were charged in St. Elizabeth for introducing contraband into a penal institution. Another was also charged with possession, he said. We asked residents, family members, friends of those in custody to desist from attempting to smuggle phones or other form of contraband to any lockup in our area, Minto stated. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification